Try again? Is that better? Okay. So this is the finance meeting, it is now second.
Thank you, Margaret. Hi, how are you? So Vicky's not online, so it's just me and Margaret here today.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, well, since the two of us reviewed these documents, I don't know if you want to review them again.
So much fun. Well, I do have new information.
Okay, you have new information,
Mm-hmm.
and what's that?
So, after BEA today, I talked to Lyric and to, Sherry, because they had gone through the schedule. And, they explained to me what a peddler is, and we do indeed have peddlers. And the difference between a peddler and a vendor is peddlers are people who go around door to door, like getting you to change your carrier for electricity,
Oh, right.
silver, blah, blah, blah. They typically will have up to 8 of those 350 a year peddler things.
And
They also do background checks and so on. So they said to make sure that that stays in.
Hmm.
We also talked about the auction houses,
Yeah,
and the reason that they require these physical reports of everything that's in the auction is to maintain records in case for some reason there's some police inquiry about an item that was stolen or whatever.
okay,
And so, hang on, that's fine. And so I'm explaining you this.
I'm agree, yes.
So, I asked if this had ever happened when they said no. And so I said, well, neither of these auction houses produce physical, you know, programs or whatever, lists. For the auctions, everything is online. So what if we were to simply have something in the language that says that they need to maintain records of what they had in prior auctions for up to a certain number of years in case there is some inquiry? And they were fine with that. They said, yeah, that would work as long as we have a workaround. That if we do have an inquiry, that we can go back and see what was in the auction. So we can still proceed with that. That's not going to be a problem, but we have to put the peddlers back in. Lyric is going to send us an email, asked to go through and see if there's anything else that they looked at that they were concerned about, but we have to put the peddlers back in.
So they do that currently?
Well,
the peddlers?
yes, I think she said that they had 8 in the last year, where they collect that fee.
It's for the, like, the national grid or the light bulb?
Yeah, any of those people who go door to door, you know, when somebody comes saying, you want to change your carrier for electric, whatever, those are considered peddlers.
And they have to go through them in order to, and so then can you ask them for a peddler license?
Yeah, well, they're gonna send me an email, and you hopefully as well, with what the current process is.
So, okay, so for the person who answers the door.
Yeah.
Can they demand to see a peddler?
That's a good
license?
idea. That's a good idea. Yeah,
How do you know it's a licensed peddler?
you don't know.
Right,
No, that's a good idea, actually. Cause they do background checks and everything.
well, I mean, that's important.
Yeah.
You don't want like
Yeah.
randos going to your door.
Yeah.
And then they should have a license, and they should produce a city license with a city that says, blah, 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 this person has been checked.
That's a good suggestion. The other thing they mentioned was, they're sending us an email saying that they identified as wanting to push that in. But like, for example, a food truck on the street, that's a vendor.
Right.
The other thing that they questioned was the mass, gathering permits, and then the, fees for fireworks. Because there's a $500 fee to the fire department if they have to be there for, if they have to issue a permit for fireworks. So she wasn't sure if we're gonna have the 200 plus the 500, but how is that gonna work? So we should be receiving an email clarification from them in the next week. So that when we finalize this, we'll have the benefit. Okay. Well, do we have anybody online?
Yeah, just like that.
Okay. So I don't have anything beyond what we've already discussed. Uh,
All right.
oh, just one other thing. Um, in the BEA meeting today, for the cemetery fund, there was a discussion of the fees for, plots and for interment. And, there will be some revisions to that, and so, I will request from Rob Perry that he sends us, they're gonna do a 10%, they're proposing a 10% increase in the fees for lots and for interment.
Why aren't those on this list?
I'm sorry?
Why aren't cemetery plot fees on this list?
Well, I don't know whether they should or they shouldn't be, but they are going to do that. If we don't need to put it on this list, let's not bother. Because what it does is it goes through the commissioner. But if we want to put it on, I told them that we haven't addressed this at all here because we figured that was handled by the cemetery. So we can leave it off and just have it handled through the cemetery and that's fine. But that's just an FYI that those fees, the proposal that those fees should increase.
Right, but those fees could be on this list as well. I mean, we have code enforcement fees.
Yeah, I think they could be on the list. So I'm gonna ask Rob, Heather showed me the table that, that he maintains with all the fees. And they vary by time of year, et cetera. And size of plot, blah, blah, blah. So I will get that from him and it's gonna be an across the board 10% on all of those fees. And we can just add it in.
How much is it down to now?
It varies, it depends on the size of the plot, whether it's a burial or a cremation, whether it's, at the plot fees vary, interment varies, but depending on the time of year, whether it's cremation, whether it's, burial, and it also varies by whether it's a residents get a discount versus a non-resident. So it's a whole table. But we can, I think we probably should add it into our list.
All right, fine. So number one, the peddler license will stay on,
Yes,
and that we should look into actually having a physical license. like
Yes,
this for-
right. Yes,
That people can show as they knock on the door.
Yep.
We're gonna get a list of cemetery plot fees.
Yep.
And number three, the auction houses will we will maintain a list, they need to maintain a list. Do they send the list to the city clerk or?
apparently you have to physically produce a list to send because they do not have a physical list. Neither of them have physical lists. Everything is online.
Right, so
And so what we will do is change the regulation to say that they are required to maintain online an electronic record of what was in the auction. For up to, I don't know, 3-5 years, in the event, in the unlikely event that there is any police inquiry.
what if they just send the electronic like spreadsheet or something to
The
the
link?
police? After they do a auction, isn't that the whole board to lyric or to?
Well,
The whole point is to find stolen up.
they don't do anything at all with, it has never happened. They don't do anything at all with these physical papers that they get. And I think if there was a record retention rule in the code, said you must maintain an electronic record. So in the event that there is a question about something that was auctioned, from the police department, then the police could go to the auction house and say, okay, we're looking for the auction from 2023, August 7th. Can we look at what was auctioned in that?
I don't think these things have never happened. What has happened, I know, is that people will sell something like ivory.
Yeah.
Which is.
Yes, there has been issues with that. Not in auctions, but there have been, issues with people selling ivory.
Right. I mean, granted, we don't have,
That term my hearing and stuff, I know.
we don't have a list of everything that people sell. And I can understand that an auction house, you wanna make sure that no one's selling stolen goods, but to sell it anywhere to anywhere.
Well, the whole point is to have a record of what was in the auction.
fine.
and that already exists.
So all we need is like electronic, it's
Yeah.
amended, so it says electronic record.
Yeah, with a retention period. Because they do nothing with them, they just file them away.
Yeah, it's all in case.
Yeah, exactly. But I think a record retention language,
Okay, what else is there? Peddler, cemetery, auction house.
nothing else
That's
was
it?
brought up to me, no,
Fine. That's it.
no. So, Mr. Chair, do you need a motion to adjourn?
Where's RK?
That's, Ron, Nikki.
Motion to adjourn, Mark?
Do we have any questions from the public? Any hands raised?
No.
No,
No. All right,
motion,
motion second.
good, we're adjourned.
What about home?